20 years ago, the technology we call the internet today was an untrustworthy source of information, causing people to be skeptical of things they, quote, found on the internet. However, with the arrival of social media sites such as MySpace and Facebook, the situation changed. Internet users were no longer passive media consumers, but rather active media producers that hold power to influence and persuade one another, even if that power is on a small scale. This burgeoning power raises the ethical question: how do we ensure that we are not perpetuating harmful messages or ideas through our social network? Long before the idea of online participatory media existed, groups of educators, media advocates, and government agencies developed 5 key concepts of media literacy. If we are mindful of these concepts, it can help us shape our online worldview to be better consumers of media and, by extension, conservators of trustworthy information. The first concept is all media messages are constructed. All media, but especially online media, are carefully crafted constructions that reflect the decisions of the media creators. What media literacy aims to do is provide context to why those decisions were made. Whether you're looking at a picture of a meal prepared by Martha Stewart or watching a video of a bombed building in Afghanistan, these images, and whatever words and sounds come with them, were put there for a reason. As smart media consumers, we must always be aware that these images and words might not tell the whole story. We must also ask ourselves why these images are presented the way that they are. Is this commercialism or propaganda? Has this image been doctored or censored? Are my values shaping the way I view this image or the way I interpret this message? The second concept to social media literacy is media messages shape our perceptions of reality. Media messages often have attitudes, interpretations, and conclusions built in. It is also responsible for most of the observations and experiences from which we view our world. While it might be hard to admit, media is a major driving factor on how we see the world. The third concept is different audiences have different understandings of the same message. If media is an important driving force on how we see the world, we must also understand that we bring our own viewpoint when we consume media. While a news story or commercial might make a certain group of media consumers angry, it might have the opposite effect on another group. When we see divisive or inflammatory pieces of media, we should take the time to consider other possible interpretations of the same piece of information from viewpoints other than our own. The fourth key concept to social media literacy is media messages have commercial implications. Most media creators are businesses that must turn a profit. Media consumers must always ask themselves questions about ownership and control of media. While social media has expanded the amount of people that share information online, the number of content creators has become extremely consolidated over the past few decades. When we share a news story, we must understand that social media sites will start to suggest similar stories in the hope that you spend more time on their website. Eventually, you might find yourself sharing and consuming media from a very narrow amount of media companies that bring their own carefully constructed biases to the site. Finally, media messages embed points of view. All media products, be they news stories, product evaluations, or selfies by the pool, are advertising for values. Either implicitly or explicitly, issues such as race, gender roles, acceptance of authority, or quote-unquote the good life are all subject to the ideology of media creators. Media creators and consumers often, quote, edit out these things that we do not find desirable or find taboo. While the media landscape has changed drastically over the past few decades, the need to look at media critically has not. It is up to the consumer to hold media creators responsible for shaping a well-rounded worldview, which would allow us to see the world from different points of view and expand our media horizons.